All right, guys, welcome back to another Deal Finders podcast with Jason Sager from Motivated Seller Leads. Is it Motivated Seller Leads? MotivatedSellers.com. I'm over here reading your t-shirt because I'm getting it all messed up. But we're here to talk about exactly that, motivated sellers and how do they become leads and all the work that it takes to get leads in our home buying business. Y'all, if this is something you're doing today, or want to do in the future, you're going to want to stay tuned and pay attention and get a pen and paper out because I already told Jason, I'm here to interrogate him. I want to know what makes them the best at finding leads for our home buying business. So, Jason, we're going to jump into it. I'm going to give you about 30 to 45 seconds to tell us who you are and where you are, and then we're going to get into it. Go.
Awesome. Hey, well, first off, Andrew, thanks for having me. Yeah, so I'm Jason Sager. I work with MotivatedSellers.com. We generate leads through Google pay-per-click, YouTube TV of people looking to sell their house. And we're targeting people who are some kind of motivation more than just they want to get full dollar movement. So we're targeting, divorce, bankruptcy, pre-foreclosure, moving for a job, things of that nature where they have something where they need to get going. And then what I do is I kind of handle everything from a little bit of accounting side to, client services to a little bit of business development. So I'm kind of all over the place, just helping make sure everything runs smooth.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm glad there's somebody there helping with that. So let's dive in because Jason, this podcast is all about real information and information that the listeners in our community can take action from. So let's no fluff. Let's get into it. We're throwing words out there that you and I take for granted. So motivated seller, leads, home buy, let's set the foundation here. What is a motivated seller? And then what is a motivated seller lead? Can you give us those definitions?
Yeah, sure. So a motivated seller, there's different degrees of motivation, right? But what we're targeting and what a motivated seller is somebody who needs to sell their house for a reason more than just, I want to move, or maybe it's a good idea. It's they have some kind of motivation. So when I say that, I'm thinking, is there a divorce where they have to sell quick? Is there bankruptcy? Is it an inherited house? Is it foreclosure where the bank's going to take the house if they don't sell in a certain amount of time? So to me, that's a real motivated seller, and that's what we're marketing for.
Okay.
A lead for us is anybody who's expressed some kind of an interest, right? So, you can start off with the worst quality lead, which is your good old fashioned phone book. And then you can go up to something, there's other lead generation, other companies, text messaging. For us, well, the only leads that we do are good ones where the person's reached out to us. They've typed on Google, hey, I want to sell my house for cash, sell my house fast, avoid foreclosure, sell my house to avoid foreclosure. Things that make them have a sense of urgency. And when they fill out their name, their phone number, their email, the address of the house, their timeline they want to sell, the reason for the selling, that's what a lead would be. And then we put that into data, a simple one-page form, put that in, and then we'd send that out to a investor in real time. But that information is what the lead is.
Okay. Yeah. So for us, and just so to define it here in our business is obviously very similar, right? The motivated sellers, we are a home buying business that, of course, when we buy homes, it's got to be at a price or terms where we can then make money from it. That is the definition of a business, right? If you're not making money from it at some point, it's a charity or you're just giving stuff away. So motivated sellers are those sellers that work best for our business. So meaning they have a real reason to sell. They need to sell either speed, convenience, just efficiency of it all. So they're motivated to work with someone like us. And then we get into, those are the motivated sellers that we're targeting and we're talking to, and we have, TV commercials or, like you said, Google or a website or whatever, postcards. So we're talking to those, but they're not a lead for us until they've come back and said, hey, you're right. I am the person you should be talking to. I want to talk more to you. I'd like to hear what you have. Maybe we can work together. So that person becomes a lead when they've reached out. And I think that sounds like similar to you guys too, right?
Yeah. I think we're very similar.
Yeah.
For us, it's they're reaching out. We don't do any outbound marketing at all. It's all them coming to us. But it's the same thing. It's a person looking to sell, and hopefully, there's some motivation there to get a deal done.
Okay. So let's talk about that. What is outbound and then what we call, and I think you call inbound? What's the difference? Can you explain that for everybody?
Yeah, so outbound is maybe you're going to send out direct mail to them, to every house. Hey, I want to buy your house on a postcard. You'll send them a text message. Hey, I want to buy your house, interested in getting an offer. Maybe cold calling, where you actually just call every number in the phone book or in an area and, go in, skip tracing, which is, looking up specific addresses and getting the phone numbers. We don't do any of that stuff. We put ads out on Google, and we do Google pay-per-click and YouTube, where it says if you want to sell your house fast without the showings, without the realtors, we focus on the convenience, we focus on the timeline. The people have to go on, either type in that they want to sell, like sell my house for cash, or watch an ad and click on it and fill in their information. And that way they're reaching out. They're doing. Nobody's pushing them. Nobody's calling them up. They're at their computer on their phone, and they're typing it in because they need help with some kind of a problem, some kind of a situation.
Right. Right. So there's a distinction. We're going to get into kind of your business here in just a second of what you guys do. And there's a distinction between that outbound and inbound in the way businesses are set up. So our business, our home buying business, when I started it back, I don't know how many years it is now, 6-7 years ago, of the cash buying business. We were investing about 17 years ago, but didn't start marketing for our own deals until about 7 years ago. And when we started, that was postcards. I started sending postcards, and we had a website so people could find us. And that was kind of how we did well with that. And it's inbound for us because the postcard hits a lot of people. They see it, then they call us, and that's an inbound lead. We tried a few times and failed at trying to add on outbound marketing. So having a cold caller or a texter or someone, in our office going out and trying to get the leads. It's totally different. It's a different way of talking to the leads, to the prospects. It's a different way of handling those leads and those contacts. And we found that it was more difficult to try to do both. We said, you know what, we're good at this. Let's focus on this. Do you have any experience with that, with people going back and forth or trying to do all of it?
Yeah, so we see people doing all of it. The telemarketing and the cold calling, the texting can get you in trouble. And to me, usually when people are doing that, it's more of an amateur hour. They don't know what they're doing. They want to try it out. They're okay not having the success.
Right.
As soon as they taste, when somebody calls in from a postcard, now that's inbound, right? As you said, when somebody calls in from a Google ad, they fill out their information because they want to call, that's inbound. Now, all of a sudden, you have a person who wants to talk to you. Now you're spending your time, your effort, your skills on somebody who you can actually talk to. You're not just pissing off people and going to the next one and the next one. Yeah. So in terms of people doing both, no, once you don't see a lot of that. Because once a person has a taste of people who want to talk to them, who want to get a deal done, where price is going to be the only thing that gets in the way, in most cases, they want to talk to those people. They don't want to talk to random people who don't want to talk to them.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
So,
and so this is a free tip for everybody that's watching. And if you want to watch, y'all, this is on YouTube as well. So YouTube, it's the Deal Finders YouTube channel, or of course listen to this podcast anywhere. But free tip out there is, if you're like us and we've gotten a taste of the people calling us, but there's still maybe a need or a want to get out there and talk to other people, or if you're just getting started and this cold calling thing seems daunting, which I think it might be for some people, go and call the people that want to be called. So you're not, like you said, pissing off a bunch of people for no reason. So who are they? Real estate agents, other maybe wholesalers or home buyers, And then the for sale by owners, the things that are out there, Craigslist, Zillow, or whatever, where people put their name and number out there. That means they want you to call. Start there, have a little bit of success there, and then you'll see what we're talking about, how much better it is and how much easier it is when people actually want to talk to you. So let's move into that. Let's talk through that. There's pay-per-click, PPC, and then pay-per-lead, PPL, is kind of the industry terms. And we've done pay-per-click in the past and for years and a little bit still going now. And we pay every time someone clicks on an ad. That's very different from pay per lead. How do you tell people what the difference is?
So start off with pay-per-click. You guys, if you're doing it, you have your own campaigns, you set it up. It's a lot more work, right? For the average person, you're not a marketing expert. You're great at the houses, you're great at making the deals, you're great at moving contracts. But it's a whole nother level. You have to set up campaigns, you have to figure out the keywords, you got to do your ad copy. That's what we're so good at. But it works for everybody, right? We're not better. If we're not like, it's no secret sauce. It's just we're consistent. We're really good at it. We test it over and over again. Yeah. Anybody can do it, right? But do you have the time? Do you have the effort? Can you change up your ads every month? And so that's what makes us good. In terms of people doing it, yeah, I recommend you doing your own PPC campaign. But my guess is that you're going to pay a lot more per lead than you do in a pay per lead service like ours, because we're so good. We've refined it. We've got our costs down by being able to convert more on those clicks. You know, when you're doing a pay per click with Google, for example, you might pay $5 or $10 or $12 or $15 a click. If you're not, converting and getting those people to turn into leads, that might end up costing you $2, $3, even $500 a lead or more.
Yeah.
Whereas us, when you're doing pay per lead, you kind of set your own prices to some degree, and when a lead comes in, then you get it. So I think both of them are super effective. It's just, what do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on the marketing and build out those campaigns and probably pay more per lead? You do have more control of it and what keywords you use. But is that where your time should be spent? Or are you better at just when a person comes in and wants to talk, are you better at being the person who can make the deal?
Yeah, I love that. I love that distinction right there, because when we help people, when we help in our Deal Finders community, we do live events just about every single week, and then we do workshops once a month, and then we partner with people. We help grow their businesses, and that is a distinction that we talk about. Is there's a lot of entrepreneurs think that they can do everything, and I'm probably the same. I mean, I could do that, I could do this, but really, we're only good at a couple of things, maybe one, and it's the entrepreneur in a home buying business needs to be able to talk to the seller, close the deal, right? Get the deal, build rapport, run the numbers, close the sale. There's usually not the same person that's great at that. That's great at getting the marketing, getting the leads, understanding the ad copy and the pictures on your PPC campaign, or, talking and setting up your Google clicks. And there's so much there. You could tell which one I'm better at, right? Because I'm like, I can't even fathom all the work it takes in managing that ad campaign. So when we are trying to start our business and we're trying to launch out the box, and there's a little bit of, I want to do it all, I want to touch it all. And I'd say, go ahead, you can try it, you can dabble in it. But honestly, at this point in my life, I'm about to hit 41. I'm getting over the hill. Time is getting precious. I do not want to try to learn how to run ads. I don't want to learn how to get extra clicks and that little minutia of changing the color of the font to see if I can get one more click. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to talk to the people. I want to talk to the sellers. So that's why
I don't think you hit it on the head right there.
Yeah.
It's your time, right? How valuable is your time? What do you want to do? If you've called 40 hours in a week, maybe somebody works crazy hard, does 68 hours a week, whatever it is, spend it talking to people, spend it trying to make the deal, and you hit it right on the head. It's just, where do you want to put your time? Where do you want to put your focus on?
Yeah, I love it. So let's talk more about what your company does. So I'm a home buyer, right? Our company, we have an acquisition team, people that are running that home buying company. how does motivatedsellers.com, how do you actually serve us as home buyers?
So what we'll do is we run our own ads. You know, we're all over YouTube, Google, YouTube TV. We get ads, and the leads I told you about, the person's name, address, phone number, why they're selling, usually in the timeline, and little couple details about the house, as well as consent for them to call. So we're telling them, hey, listen, we're going to reach out to you. That lead will send to you in real time when they fill out a form online. So, for example, you're in the Tampa area, right?
Columbia. We were in
Okay.
Tampa last week. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So I use Tampa as an example here. It's Hillsborough County, so we do it by county, and we'll actually build. We'll actually do it by county. So in Hillsborough County, it's a lead bidding system. So whoever is the highest bidder in that county gets the lead in real time. Leads start at $150 a lead, and we send it by text and by email. We can also integrate with any CRM, so you get the lead sent to you right away. And it's up to you to call them. But that person's filled out their information, within a second or two of you receiving that lead. So, yeah, it gets to people. Our system, you can turn it on and off whenever you want. We don't charge anybody any fees, any prepayments, anything like that. You just set up your account, and you put the counties that you want, and then you can get it in real time. So you could turn on Tampa, you could turn on, I'm in Miami County, Miami-Dade, you can turn that on and off, whatever you want. And some counties, that you're local to, you might want to say, hey, you know what, I want to go a little higher and bid a little higher. Whereas other ones, you might say, you know what, if I get one, I'll take the value, but I'm kind of comfortable where I am.
Yeah. I like that. So it goes back to that efficiency that we're talking about of the time. So breaking it down for our company, when we get leads in, when a postcard goes out and someone calls us from that postcard lead, historically it's taken us like one of the 20 phone calls is going to be a house we can buy, a deal we can do, right? And pay per click was about the same for us. So every time someone would come to click on our ad and then fill out the form, not just click the ad, but fill out the form, then it would be about 1 in 20. Well, in order to get those 20 people to fill out the form, that took, I don't know how many clicks. It was a lot of clicks to get them to do that, 15 clicks. And so every click costs money. Every click costs time and evaluation and all that. So that's where the efficiency of your service comes in, where it's, you're basically taking that front end piece off and just saying, here's a lead. Do you want it? Here's the price. Is that kind of the way it looks?
Yeah, that's exactly it. But you got to remember, there's no inventory. It's not like you go on and you go, okay, I'll buy this lead and this lead,
Right.
and like that one, right? You're just clicking saying, hey, I want Hillsborough County. I want Miami-Dade County. The next lead that comes in, this is my bid. The next thing that comes in, send it to me in real time. It makes it really cool because even though you don't get at the time that you want, you have somebody who just put in interest. They just expressed interest and they're ready to talk.
Yeah. So it goes back to that where, when someone says, I want to talk, those phone calls are so much easier. They actually keep people in this business versus the other way when you're just dialing and talking to people that don't want to talk to you. That's when people quit this business. Like, this is for the birds. I don't like getting yelled at and screamed at on the phone all day. So when someone wants you to call, it's much easier and much more fun. If it's fun conversation, you don't really have to kind of like get yourself ready to get beat up. It's more about get yourself ready to talk and understand where they're coming from, right? You actually get to connect with someone. I like that. So
That's exactly it. You're trying to solve their problems. That's where you get in the phone. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Let me solve your problem. And the biggest issue that we have, the biggest thing that kind of annoys investors is, hey, this person wants retail. So if you're an agent or you have an agent, you send it over, but either way, you're solving their problem. And, like I said, 1 in 15, 1 in 20, maybe 1 in 25. But once you start looking at the profit per deal, the numbers back out really well all the time.
Yeah, for sure. So where do y'all operate? Where does your company operate? Are you nationwide?
Nationwide, we can get leads in any county in the U.S. So anywhere from Alaska and Hawaii to, Suffolk County in New York, down to Florida, wherever you just pick your county and on our system, and we'll send you leads in real time from those counties.
Wow. And so, yeah, if someone signed up today and they're like, I'm in, I want, my home county, how soon would they expect something?
So depending on the county, I'll give you an example: Harris County in Houston, Dallas and Texas, Wayne County, which is Detroit, LA County, California. Those we're gonna get multiple leads a day,
Okay.
probably 3 to 5, maybe even 6 leads a day. Other counties, I think about Indian River, which is just north of your Okeechobee County up here in Florida. We might see those, 1 or 2 a week.
Yeah.
So you just never know. But that being said, if an investor is bidding on those counties, we're going to do more marketing efforts to try and get them more leads.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like you're not doing every county in the country right now, but if an investor signs up for a county, then you'll probably evaluate it and plug in, because you guys can plug in like that, where a normal investor, if I am starting from scratch and I say, you know what, I want to get some online leads, I want to try like a pay-per-click, I want to set up my ads, it's going to take me some time to figure it out, to test it, A/B test, and then test the keywords, test the locations. That's probably a pretty long ramp up period where you guys already have the ad copy, the ad placements, the ad pictures, and you could essentially just plug it in with a new county. Is that sound right? That's the way
Yeah. So we update our campaigns about 5 or 6 times a day.
Okay.
With whatever counties people are in. And then we also have a ton of SEO. So I mentioned, for example, LA or Wayne County in Michigan, we're going to get leads there even if we don't have investors, just because our SEO is so strong. And people are going to type in "sell my house for cash." Our pages are going to come up inevitably, and we're going to get leads from there. But for a smaller county, just, off the top of my head, that when I mentioned Okeechobee, so if we have investors there, or, we'll turn it on and we'll get more leads there. If we don't have anybody there, we'll probably get maybe 1 a week, 1 every 2 weeks on the SEO.
Cool. What should, if someone is thinking about this, so one of the things that we do, we talked about earlier, is our community. We have people in our Deal Finders community. We have a Tuesday marketing call where we bring in the community members, our deal partners, and we do a call similar to this, but we dive in deep, and it's like do a screen share and talk about the real numbers. What's the ad look like? How to negotiate, how to talk to these sellers. So we do that every week for our community here. But someone that doesn't have access to that and they're wondering, is this right for me? What would you tell them? What is the thing that says this is for you, or this is maybe not a good fit?
I'd tell you 2 things. First thing is, don't go in this and say, hey, I'm going to get 1 lead a month or 1 lead every 3 months. It's going to be a waste of time. You got to commit to this and commit to yourself, right? So I'm not saying go out and spend $10,000 a month. I'm not going crazy like that, but I'm saying give yourself a budget. Be ready to go. Be ready to call a few people. The second thing I would say is, if you can't call a person when you get a lead in that minute, don't do it, or make sure you can turn it off, because if they don't get the call, if they don't get the answer they want, and just think about your own psychology, you're going to go find the answer from somewhere else, right? So I think about even my kids. If they want to eat something and I'm not there or I'm upstairs, they're going to go to mom. They're going to go to grandma. They're going to go somewhere else. And, consumer behavior is the same way. So speed to lead is so important. When you get that lead in, if you're eating dinner, excuse yourself. If you're in a movie, walk outside and call them. It's so important that whatever you're doing, you can call that lead right away. And maybe they'll answer, maybe they won't the first time, but if they have good follow-up as well. But the most important thing, I think, is speed to lead.
Yeah, I like that. That's so important, especially nowadays. Like you said, there's a lot of options, and our consumer behavior shows us that as consumers, we are there to get the quickest response sometimes, and we know there's other options, and if we're not loyal to you, so if you don't answer the phone or you don't call me right back, I'm moving on. So I like that setting that example. So where can people find out more about you, Jason? And if they want to sign up, I think we have a discount code or something like that they can use.
Yeah, so if they go to motivatedsellers.com/dealfinders, They can get set up that way, and then they'll get the promotion. I don't remember exactly what it is for you, but we have a promotion for your students. We want to get people set up. We want to give them a little bit to kind of get them going.
Yeah.
But yeah, motivatedsellers.com/deal finders. And, we're happy to help them out with it. We're happy to get started. Before you get going, you're going to talk to Joseph on our team. And then if you have any questions, once you're signed up, I'm happy to talk to everybody, walk them through it. If anybody needs help structuring a deal, I think you're a great resource. I'm happy to help out as well.
Yeah.
So, anything to help people get going, because when these leads come in, they're going to find people who want to sell. And sometimes the deals won't make sense at first glance, but there's other ways to get them done where, there's usually a way to get it done if the person has that motivation.
Oh, for sure. That is a big, that's a big nugget, you guys. If you're listening to this and you've stuck with us this far because you're interested in this, that the person that is reaching out, there is something there. They are motivated somehow, and that lead or that deal may not look like much on the surface, but use your resources. Talk to Jason, Joseph on their team, myself, anybody on our team, because there might be something in that lead or in that situation that you're not picking up on, and there might be a deal in there hidden. So use your resources. If you're going to get the lead, you're going to join this, join their program or their system so that you get the lead sent straight to you. Don't waste that. Don't waste it. Don't let it sit there, get cold in the inbox. Call it, figure it out. And if you don't know how to fix it or how to do that deal, reach out to someone that might.
Let me add one more thing, because I think this could be really helpful for everybody. Yeah. So we generate a lot of leads, and a lot of these people go in and they say, hey, my neighbor's house sold for $350,000, so mine should sell for $350,000. And it's like, well, how is everything condition-wise? You get a lot of disillusioned people.
Yeah.
And so follow-up is so important, right? Well, what's going to happen? They don't get the answer from you. Maybe they check with somebody else. Maybe they, talk to a realtor. The realtor's like, hey, listen, your kitchen is, 40 years old. You're not going to get those numbers. All of a sudden, when reality hits them in the face, then they're more likely to sell at a discount or sell at a price that you can get it done. So follow-up is super important. Yeah. Another point is, we give credits if a house is listed in MLS, for example, we'll give them a credit towards their next lead, right? So that's great. But hey, before you go for the credit, call up the person. If you're not a licensed agent, you can call them like, hey, what's going on? What's up with this house? Maybe the listing's about to expire. Maybe they didn't get any offers with the listing agent. Don't be afraid to make an offer, even if a place is listed. Yeah. And then if it doesn't work and they go, oh, talk to my agent, or, I want full price, whatever. Okay, go on our site, put in a dispute. We'll give you credit towards your next lead. And move forward. And we give credits for other things as well. Spam leads, fake leads, not the right number, people who aren't selling, who are just, messing around with the stuff. And that's what happens in any pay-per-click, regardless of who it's from.
Yeah.
But they have that protection as well.
Yeah. So, you hit on a great point there to again, not to waste the leads, call them, see what they have, see what's going on and try to understand it. So, I love that. This has been great, Jason. Again, motivatedsellers.com/deal finders to find out info there. Dealfindersclub.com. That's our website. If you want to find out what we have going on, again, we have live events just about every week. Come down, come see us. We'd love to have you participate. So, Jason, thank you so much for letting me interrogate you. So letting me understand more about your business and how you guys operate. Looking forward to future things together. And I just wanted to leave this one thing for you, because Jason touched on it, and I think it's really, really important for our community and our listeners to understand that this business is not a get rich quick business. It is a business like any other that takes time. It takes investment of time and resources, like, guys, yes, money, but it also takes commitment. And so, just to wrap this up, is we just closed on Friday or Thursday or Friday last week a deal that came into our system a year ago, 12 months ago, and our team, Kimberly, who's amazing, spent however much long with follow-up, just touching base and seeing how it's going and moving that deal and that seller along toward what ultimately was a great purchase for us, a great sell for them, and it's going to be a great flip for one of our deal partners. So staying committed to this business, treating it like a business, using professionals like Jason and their team, that's how you build real estate success in a home buying business. So I hope that's helpful. Again, reach out to us if you have anything or need anything. Jason, thank you so much again for being here. We'll see y'all soon.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the REI Deal Finders podcast. You can find out more and apply to be a part of the REI Deal Finder community at reidealfinders.club.